All right, what's up, everybody, and welcome to episode 5 of the PTFooty podcast. Today with me, we don't have Alex this time because apparently he had to go, do some family things and he can't be with us today. But however, we still have Kyle
Hey guys, glad to be back.
and the cap.
Bonjour, my Portuguese friends.
Nice one. So obviously we're gonna start off with the big game. Portugal beat Wales 2-0. Ronaldo and Nani scored. We're gonna face France in the final on Sunday. Oh my God. Nervous. And I wanna get rid of that 0-4 feeling.
Yep.
Definitely need to win this time. All right. So Portugal started off with Rui Patrício, Cédric Fonte, Alves, Guerreiro, Danilo, João Mário, Adriano, Renato, Nani, and Ronaldo. The only change was Bruno Alves and Danilo because William Carvalho got suspended and Pep was injured. João Moutinho, Quaresma, and who was the other guy that also came on the pitch? André Gomes also participating on the match. Ronaldo was considered man of the match. I'm gonna start with you, Kevin. What do you think of the game?
Thought it was a good game. I was expecting us to win by that margin. As you know, that I predicted that. It should have been a game that we won. Could have won by more. We had really good chances. I will say that we are kind of lucky though to be in the final with the bracket that we had. The side of the bracket that we had, it worked out for us in the end. But we should have done a lot better. And with that feeling, I just don't know if we're going to be good enough to win on Sunday.
Having to go through Croatia and Poland is not easy, though. Could have
Yeah,
been
but
harder.
look at the other side of the bracket though. Look what France
Yeah,
had
but
to go through.
look at France. Look what France had to go through. Republic of Ireland, Iceland, and Germany.
Yeah, but Iceland was a tough team. We all know that, and they eliminated Germany. So I mean, just that alone before going into the final, beating Germany is gonna motivate them and give them a lot of confidence. But I'm not saying
Yeah,
we're not
already.
confident, but I
Yeah,
think
but they're
that
already motivated playing at home. So
yeah, I get that, but with a big win like that over Germany, I think that it's going to give them that extra boost. But I hope that we can do it. I mean, it happened to us in '04 where we had the confidence and we were playing
yeah,
at home
we
and
beat
we
we beat
blew it.
Holland on the semifinals. I'm not sure who Greece beat, but we beat Holland. We were confident was sky high, and then we still lost. So.
And we also beat Spain that year too.
Yeah, so it is what it is. Sometimes, having tougher opponents doesn't mean that you're gonna win.
Yeah, well, hopefully we can win. For me, I'm just not really that confident that we'll get it done on Sunday. I hope I'm wrong. I really am, but just past experiences, I'm just not really expecting much.
I wasn't that confident going into the final now, but after watching France play, I don't know. I guess I'm just confident. I'll keep up with my question here. What I thought of the game. I thought it was a good game. Finally, we saw some action. Portugal trying to win it from the first second of the match, something that we haven't seen in forever. Um, I liked how the team was set up. Really liked how the new we worked out pretty well. And Adrian and Renato in the midfield is just too good to pass upon. One is a workhorse, and well, Renato is also a workhorse, but he's too skilled. He's such a good player. Helped us out a lot. However, at halftime it was still 0-0. Even though I wasn't sure how it was still 0-0 because Wales had about one chance and we had plenty more. That penalty also on Ronaldo once again not given. That's the second time that's happened. But even after that we still managed to score. What a great header by Ronaldo! And I gotta tip my hat off to Rafael Guerreiro. What an assist that was. And then obviously Nani tapped it in, made it 2-0. It could have been a lot more, but it is what it is. We won. That's all that matters. Carl, what do you think?
Um, you guys pretty much said everything about the game, but the game, I'm glad that we won the game. We actually played very good. against Wales, and players actually they wanted it. You could see that they wanted it, but I saw kind of like the first half we were pushing, but at the same time we looked like we didn't want to concede, so we were kind of staying back a bit, and they didn't want to concede too. But who's that guy that was marking Ronaldo with the beard? He
Collins,
yeah, he was doing. Oh, is that the one that plays for West Ham?
West Ham.
Yeah, he actually marked Ronaldo pretty well that game, but except beside from the header. That
Mhm.
was he had a great game against Ronaldo, but yeah, glad we won the game and on to the finals.
Um, Kyle, did it feel sweeter to win after being considered the underdog by everyone else in the internet?
Of course, feels sweeter. Nobody thought we could do anything this Euros, and here we are in the final. They were all saying that this squad is just not capable, and they were all saying that we can't do it, especially after our three draws against Hungary, Austria, and Iceland. But we are now in the final, so for me, that's an accomplishment in itself, just making the finals, but I really hope we can win it.
Same question goes to you, Kevin. I'm pretty sure that you probably saw my tweet where a lot of YouTubers were just making out a lot of polls asking who was going to be in the final, and about 70% of them always mentioned Wales over Portugal. Did it feel better to win being considered the underdog?
Oh, of course it did. It's always good to win, especially when everybody talks bad about us. So I don't get what it is that everybody has against Portugal. I mean, you could say that there were subpar performances, which I would have to agree, and that they got all draws to the next round, and it's just not fair. Well, I mean, it's fair. UEFA is the one that made the rules. They're the ones that expanded it. Had it not been expanded, who knows what would have happened? You can't just say that Portugal wouldn't have made it because it wouldn't have been expanded. It would have been the top two teams. That would just have to mean that Portugal would have to try a little more. Um,
Yeah,
like I
and
said,
everyone else too. And everyone else too, right?
exactly. I mean, if it was England, because that's the ones who were talking the most, if it was England, right, and they got through with
Yep,
three draws, you think that anybody would say anything?
of
I
course
highly
not.
doubt it.
Hmm.
I'm sure they would
And
get criticized.
yeah, but still, no one would have said anything, right?
Exactly, and it's just annoying that like every time Portugal goes far somewhere, they always have to bash us. And I guarantee you that if we lose the final on Sunday, they're all going to be happy that France
Oh,
won. And
yeah,
I
definitely.
hope that doesn't happen though. I just want to shut up all the haters. And
Yeah.
Portugal does have a good team, and they talk bad about our national team, but yet our players play in different leagues of the world. Look at Cristiano Ronaldo, Real Madrid, and so on and so forth. He played at Manchester United, and for some reason,
Yeah,
the English don't really like him anymore. I don't know if it has anything to do with the World Cup in '06. I don't know, but
maybe a little bit.
it probably does. But I just don't understand why everybody has to bash Portugal. Yeah, we've been mediocre this Euro, but we've defended well. We did what we had to do. It's not our
Yeah.
fault that other teams got the luck of the draw that they had and the way that they performed, because that's what it came down to. It came down to performance. You couldn't get it done. You couldn't get it done.
Yeah, and people talk about fairness, what Portugal did. Wasn't fair. Well, I got an example. Just 2 years ago, Benfica lost the Europa League without losing one single game. So, I mean, you talk about fair. Is it fair to lose a competition that you never lost a game in? No, but it is what it is. It happens. It's football. Now, Portugal getting lucky. I don't think it's just luck. I think we're also, we have a manager that knows what we have to do, and he decided that we were best to hold out instead of trying to go all out and try and win, and try our luck on penalties or just on extra time because he thought that was the best strategy, and it worked. So I mean, why bash something that works, you know? So I don't really understand the hate towards Portugal. I think people just don't like us seeing it win.
And let me
Happens
just
every
put one
time.
more thing out real quick, if I
Yeah.
can. I didn't
Oh,
mean to cut you off. I'm sorry.
no, no, it's
Um,
fine. I was done.
in 2004, when we lost to Greece, Greece were the heroes. They did absolutely nothing. They defended and hit the counterattack every game. That's what worked for them. That's what got them to the final. And they shocked the world and won the Euro against Portugal in Portugal. So that's what their strategy was. That's what got them there. Now, that's our strategy. so far that's what's working. I don't like it personally, but if it's going to get us to the final and have us win the Euro, then I'll be fine with it. But I don't like it, but if we win, then whatever.
Everyone hopped up on the Iceland bandwagon as well, and they barely played well in one single game. You know,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
or what you consider attractive football. Yet everyone wanted Iceland to win against France. Now why? Why? That it doesn't make any sense. Why, why people would hop on a bandwagon of a team that plays exactly like Portugal, but just because they're from Iceland, go ahead, win this tournament. You deserve it, even though they did jack shit. So it is what it is, though. I mean, we can't change people's opinions. There's nothing we can do about that. But right now, I don't know if you guys saw, but I contribute to a blog, which I can't remember the guy's blog. I'm sorry. I'll post the link once again after the podcast is done. Um, and he asked me several questions about Portugal, and one of them was very interesting. And I want to point or I want to ask you guys this: who do you think is Portugal's most underrated player? The one that no one mentions yet performs well and helps out the team a lot. Kevin.
That's a good question. That is a tough one to answer, I think. The most underrated, I, I would have to go with Nani. I mean,
Yeah, I
now
think
people are
as
starting
well.
to talk about him more because of his contributions lately, but since the beginning of the tournament, he's been there for us. And like I told you, and because you said you don't like him that much, and you agreed that he has been one of our best players, and that's who I would have to say is the most underrated. I don't know why people are underrating him, but I think he's definitely underrated this tournament.
Yeah, just point out the blog's name is IFNS blog. Your at is at IFNS blog. Kyle, go ahead and give your opinion.
Yeah, I have to agree with Kevin here. Nani is definitely the most underrated player for us because he just nobody really gives him the attention that he deserves. He's been scoring some big goals in this tournament, and he's just the most underrated player for us right now.
Yeah, yeah. So I guess we all agree. It was pretty interesting how Nani managed to establish himself in this team, where before the Euro had started, most of us would have said, "Why the hell is he on the team?" And at the moment, he just overcame that idea that we had of him that he was not good enough. Just like José Fonte in the past. A couple of years ago, he was playing in the League Two of British football. Now he's playing the final of the European uh, Cup. So that's just overcoming the odds. And cheers for Yunani for helping us out. Very important. Um, Alex decided to message us and said that Adrian is the most underrated player. No, he's a good player, but honestly, the most underrated, I think it'd have been Nani because he had such a big impact. I think he was involved in 4 of our 8 goals, 3 goals and 1 assist. So that's definitely not too bad for him. Um, guys, we touched this upon several times. I'm just gonna ask you again, but this time no comparison. What did you think of Rafael Guerrero's game?
I think he played a great game. We know what he can do on the left, but he put that from that I think yeah from the corner. Was it him that crossed it or was it João Mario?
Yes, it was him. João Mario passed the ball to him and he crossed it
Okay, so yeah, he got the assist on Ronaldo. What a cross! That was perfect. Ronaldo leaped into the air, boom, header in, and Guerreiro played great defensive. He was just great defensively that game too, especially against Gareth Bale. Like we all know what Gareth Bale can do, one of the best
in.
players in the world, and Rafael just showed him who's boss, I guess.
And I want to point this out that I've noticed that he was actually man marking Bale, because at one point Gareth Bale was in the middle of the field. He was literally like in the middle, and Rafael Guerreiro was right next to him, like not even close to his position. What would an attacking midfielder would be? He was right there marking him, so he had a pretty good game because Bale was pretty much invisible the whole match. Kevin, what did you think of his performance?
Oh, he had a great performance. He stepped up to the plate, and he showed why he should be the starter left back for us. That was a nice cross that he had when Ronaldo scored. That was beautiful. But yeah, he was great once again. He has been for us most of the tournament. I can't say one bad thing about him that he did throughout the tournament. He's just been really good for us.
Yeah. And by the way, Alex, just said again, that he said he doesn't know why I called Nani underrated. It's not actually like underrated. It's more of an unsung hero. That was the question that was asked to me at the time, and I couldn't remember the words to phrase it. It was the unsung hero. No one that, the player that no one ever mentions, and it is true that no one was mentioning Nani at the time. So yeah, I think we all think that he's the unsung hero of this team. Moving on though, we also saw Danilo play again. After his performance, do you put William Carvalho back in, or do you stay with Danilo, Kevin?
Honestly, I would stay with Danilo. I mean, if you look back at the performances total between the two players, Danilo has been better. Um, well, actually, I think there was one other game that he was a little off. And
Yeah, I think
against
it was the
Wales, he was a
first
little
one.
off. Yeah, but if you compare him with William, William has just been like piss poor for us, honestly. And I would stick with Danilo. And Alex should go take a nap, and then he can come ask us questions. Because Adrian, the most underrated player. I mean, come on, everybody knows he's been playing good, and people have given him credit. Like Timmy, Timo with Budu.
Yeah, yeah,
He said that he was fire yesterday. I believe it was
yeah.
him
He
that
was
said it.
very,
He
very
was,
good.
I
On
believe it was
fire
Timmy,
at least.
if I'm not
Mhm.
mistaken. He said he was great for us yesterday, and I have to agree. So he got acknowledged. Nani doesn't really get the credit that he deserves. Like I've seen some people say like he's been good for us, but it's not enough. Where I can see that people have given him credit, and to me, it's just not right.
Yeah, it
And he
doesn't get
deserves
enough
more
credit.
credit.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Kyle, what do you think? William Carvalho or Danilo?
Personally, I'd rather Danilo, but I think Sonch is gonna go with William Carvalho just because he's played more minutes in the tournament. I'm pretty sure, and I don't know. I'd rather Danilo, but I just think that Sonch is just gonna play
Okay.
him.
Another question. Bruno Alves played his first 90 minutes of the Euro after, that atrocious kick to Harry Kane's head. He finally got some minutes. I personally think he didn't play that bad. Kyle, what did you think of his game?
Yeah, I think he played pretty good to step in for Pepe's spot, but I don't know. He didn't. For me, they weren't really tested at the back too much. Like Gareth Bale had a couple shots on, but I didn't see any real threat. That was
Uh,
Bruno.
I think it's hard to mark down Robson Kanu. I think he had a decent game, but when the striker's not getting service, But I know what you
Yeah,
mean. I know what
yeah. But he had
you
a pretty good
mean.
game.
Yeah, Kevin, would you say that you're confident enough for Alves to step in for anyone?
Hell no. I don't think so. No, honestly. I mean, we played because he had to. I mean,
Yeah,
if you think about it. But I think that he's just a loose cannon. You know what I mean? Like you can't really trust him. There was a play at the end of the game. I don't know who went for the ball, but he kind of like went up with his foot, like a high foot kind of,
yeah,
and he
yeah. I
pulled it
know. It was,
away.
it was. I know who he was. Yeah, it was in Wales, a Wales striker that got subbed on. But I mean, I think he covered that play well. I mean, but I know what you mean. If he hit him, it would have been a penalty, and it would have been difficult for us, right?
Yeah, it was so close. You could tell he wanted to so bad, but he was like, I just gotta pull back, and he did, and I'm glad he did. But he's just a loose cannon. Like you never know what he's gonna do. I mean, Pepe is one of those players that he can get ejected too, but he has more of a cooler head than Bruno Alves. Bruno Alves just has
Self-control.
a hot head. Yeah, he has. Pepe has more self-control than Bruno Alves, I think, and he's just a liability. And I'm glad that He didn't get ejected or anything. He did play a good game, I will have to say. But yeah, to me, he's just a liability, and I'd put Pepe back in there. I mean, if it's not broken, don't fix it. But I think that he's the player that, if there's a penalty called against Portugal, he's going to be the one that commits it.
Right, right. I gotta ask you guys before this game, before the game, before the France versus Germany game. Obviously, now that we know that we're gonna face France, but who would you have wanted on the final, Kyle?
Um, I, I'm glad that France made it because I think Germany's too strong for Portugal, especially the last time they played. They lost 4-0 to Germany. But France is also a tough team to face, especially since they're the home nation. They have the fans behind them. But I just rather France. I don't know if we can do it, but France is just the better option for Portugal. And yeah, I hope we can do something against France.
Yeah, I would have gone France as well. Kevin, France or
I
Germany?
I have to agree with France. Nothing against them because they are a great team. They smashed Iceland and they beat Germany, so I respect them. They're a great team. But looking at it from a Portugal perspective, we have a better chance of beating France than we do Germany. I guess just a style of play and tactical, whatever. But in those friendlies that we had against France, I mean, we only lost by like a goal, I think,
I
in
think
both
we lost
games.
2-0 the first one, because
Wasn't there
I
one that
think
we
it was
lost 2-1?
a random throw. Is it was it either 2-1? Yeah, it was 2-1. Yeah, my bad. It
Yeah,
was a random throw in that we weren't paying attention and they made it 2-1, and after that we didn't really attack. In the second game, sorry to cut you off. The second game was 1-0 with a Valbuena free kick goal
hmm
around the 80th minute.
yeah. So it goes to show you, it took a free kick on that game and we lost 1-0. So I mean, we could win it. It might have to take extra time, maybe even penalties. I hope not, because then it's just gonna kill me.
I'll be
But
confident if we go to penalties though. 100, I can tell you that 100%.
yeah,
Way
I
more
mean,
confident.
we have a good chance. In the first half of today's game with Germany, like Germany was on top of France and they were defending well, but I think that the French defense is not as strong as they were. The second half they played extremely well. I don't know what the coach said to them. He gave them a good pep talk, but they were extremely tight in the second half. I mean, it helped that they were up a goal just before halftime. I think that's what did it. But had it been 0-0, I think that Germany would have won today.
Honestly, I have no idea how France made it through. At least not by that scoreline. I'm pretty sure, Kevin, that you didn't watch the rest of the game, because you were saying that it was a little bit useless because France already won. But I watched the game throughout, and Germany had a lot and a lot and a lot of chances to score at least two goals.
hmm
Balls in the crossbar, amazing save by Lloris.
Yeah, I
Um,
saw that. I did
20
watch
more
the rest of
shots.
it.
Okay, good. So you know that they aren't as strong on the back like Germany are, for example. This is my opinion. With
hmm
Neuer, Boateng, Valverde, Hector, and not even sure who plays right back for them at the moment. But they have a strong team.
I
They
think
have
it's
a stronger
Kimmich.
defense. Yeah, Kimmich. Yeah, yeah, probably.
Did you
Good
guys
shout.
see France, like at the end of the game, their celebration copying Iceland? They
No,
did
I
the
didn't notice
they
that.
did the clap, like
Uh,
pretty much the whole stadium.
I think
yeah,
Wales does that too.
yeah. I
They
think
do the
Wilson
clap after the game, like the who. They did like the who and clapped.
Not sure
Hmm.
about the who, but I think he clapped. Really, really a nice effort by the Wales supporters. I really liked how they always were into the team throughout the whole 90 minutes, even though they were losing. They were singing on the 90th minute, just supporting the club. It's their first ever European go, really, when they made it to the qualifications. You know, after they qualified to the Euro and they made it to the semifinals, so not bad at all. The supporters deserve a shout because they were pretty decent. Um, so I want to touch upon. We already said that France's defense is a little bit shaky. So I want to ask you guys, what do you think are France's strongest points? Well, what is the thing that we need to be worried about the most? You can mention players, or you can mention a sector of the field, whatever you want. Kevin.
Antoine Griezmann, without a doubt. He has, I believe, 6 goals already in this tournament this year, and
Yes.
he's very quick. And even though he's short, like I noticed a couple times against the German defense, he was able to head it right over them and like beat him in a foot race. And he's just very quick. You might have to double up on him. With Olivier Giroud, I don't think you have to worry about him too much because there was that breakaway and he was just way too slow. Like the German defender caught
Oh
up to him.
God. Yep. How bad
Yeah,
is he? Should have just passed, and yeah, I know.
exactly. So he's a little bit slow, but I don't think you have to worry about Giroud too much. But you gotta like keep an eye on Griezmann and obviously Pogba. They have a great midfield, France. So it's going to be a good midfield battle. But like I said, it's Antoine Griezmann who's their star player, and he's been fantastic, and he's actually scary. He scares me a little bit. What he could do with our defense, but we'll have to shut him down and do our best to stop him.
Yeah, Antoine Griezmann, Portuguese roots as well. I think he's grandfather or great grandfather is Portuguese. So yeah, Portuguese roots right there. Could have played for Portugal, but decided to go to France.
Too
Yeah,
bad.
Griezmann. Yeah, but I am confident though in Pep because Pep played Griezmann several times in La Liga last year. Played him once again in the Champions League final. So I think we can cope with Griezmann. I really hope so. I hope we can at least. My opinion, strongest points of France, I'd say Payet, Griezmann, Pogba, and Matuidi. But at the same time, looking at Croatia's midfield with Rakitic and Modric, Pogba and Matuidi, they are different players, but honestly, they're not that much better. I mean, except for Pogba. Pogba's at another level, but comparing Rakitic to Matuidi, not really a big of a difference there. They're both very good players, so hopefully we can handle them just as well as we did it with Croatia. Um, Kyle, what is in your opinion the strongest points, France's strongest points?
Um, yeah, I agree with you guys with Griezmann and Payet, but I also think Hugo Lloris is going to be tough to break down because he's been having a
Don't
great
rate him.
tournament.
I
You don't
don't
rate
rate him.
him?
No, don't.
Yeah, but you may not rate him like maybe club football, I guess, but this tournament, he's been having a great tournament and he's kept them in big games. Like this Germany game, he's had some huge saves and it would have been a different game if he wasn't in goal in my opinion.
Honestly,
So
don't
we're
rate
gonna
him.
have to watch out.
But there you go. I think he's for example, if you compare Neuer to Loris, I mean, you can see it's harder to beat down Neuer than Loris. But I get what you mean, but I don't think he's that good of a goalkeeper, to be honest. But that's just my opinion. But that's a good shout as well. Um, so I mean, I don't think there's really much to talk about Portugal here. I mean, we pretty much discussed everything. I'm not sure if you guys want to talk about something. Um, so what you guys have anything to add about this topic, or should we move on?
Yeah, I just have one more thing to add. Um,
Yeah.
it's getting sickening with I know it's his reputation, but it's sickening that Ronaldo got brought down twice in the same fashion, and
Hmm.
both of them were penalties, and it wasn't called. I understand he has a reputation, but you know, how many refs are there? Like, do you have the linesman and you have the ref behind the net, and then you got the referee who's watching the play? How does not one, not one, call the penalty? They did it today for France,
Yeah,
a
and
handball.
rightfully so, rightfully so.
Correct. So, I mean, this one was the other one against, was it Hungary where he got pushed, or Poland? I forgot what game it
Poland,
was.
Poland.
Okay, Poland. He clearly got pushed, both hands. I mean,
Yeah.
it is what it is on that one. But the one from Wales yesterday, he had his arm around his neck. I mean,
And
how can
just
you?
to add
Yeah.
insult to injury, I'm sorry to cut you off, Kevin. I saw
Mhm.
a picture and I posted to you guys
Yeah,
on
I
our
saw
on our
that.
Twitter group. Two players. It's not just Ronaldo. It's Romario as well. They're both doing the same thing, and both of them are penalties, and the ref doesn't call either of one of them. I think that's very weird, and we gotta prepare ourselves for
It's
France
just
because that's
annoying.
definitely gonna happen. That is definitely gonna happen against France.
It's just
Um,
annoying, and it
it
pisses me
is.
off, honestly.
It is because they're clear penalties, and they could have changed the match, for better or for worse. But thankfully on both of those games we came out through, and I'm 100% certain that if that happens against France, we're gonna pull away once again.
Hmm.
Um, but was that it? All that you guys wanted to add?
Yep, I guess.
Yeah. Hmm.
Okay, so I guess we gotta move on to club football now. Just want to point out that there's 9 days left till Benfica play, so I'm not sure about Portland Sporting. I think they still have to wait a little bit more, but there you go.
Sweet.
Benfica play on the 14th
Oh, we
against
had a game already.
Setúbal. You guys played Valadares. That doesn't really count.
So,
Valadares
still won 10-0.
I could be played for them now. No, it doesn't count. It doesn't count, to be honest. No. No. But yeah, I think Sporting and Porto fans gotta wait a little bit more, but Benfica will play right next week. 2 games next week, so pretty good for those that are Benfiquistas.
Who do we play first? Vitesse Setúbal
Setúbal
or? Oh, okay.
and then Derby County.
Alright.
Yeah. Also, Benfica got added the random game against Wolfsburg. I didn't know that, but they're also
Oh,
going to
did
play
we?
Wolfsburg. Yeah, so there you go. That's also that. Um, I'll start with Sporting because Alex isn't here. Make it easier for us. I said before, I think that Sporting signed this random Panama guy called Escobar. Not really sure if he's even gonna play, but there you go. They signed the player. Yuri Rosell was loaned out, as was the other players, but like Gerald and all that. But at this point, Sporting loaning out players just like Benfica and Porto. Too many to name. But the biggest thing is Andre Martinez leaving on a free. What do you guys think of him? Like, have you guys seen him play? Because I sure did. But I want to start with you guys.
To be honest, I haven't even seen a single minute, unless he played versus
No,
Benfica,
it
and I don't
wasn't this
remember.
season. It wasn't this season. I'm talking about
No,
other season. It
no,
wasn't
I
used this
haven't.
season.
I really don't pay attention to Andre Martins. I don't know why I would, because probably a
Okay.
junk player. But you know,
Uh-huh.
I guess he was made by their
Sporting.
academy, yet, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so 13
But
years or something. I don't know. I saw
yeah,
something 13
13 years.
years.
Yeah, it was
Yeah, and
13
he
years.
leaves on a
But
free.
yeah, it
But
was on a free.
yeah, I guess
Kevin.
that's that.
Yeah, I think he was all right. I mean, he wasn't anything great. He was a decent player, but like I haven't really watched much of him. But from what I saw, he was just all right. Nothing spectacular.
I saw 2 seasons of him. We actually had some guys like messages on the pod. And if we didn't have Andre Horta, I probably would have taken him on a free transfer because he's good. He's a good player, very tactical, gifted. The only thing that he's very short and very thin, so it's easy to get him off the ball. And it was funny because last year and 2 years ago when he started, he was always the first guy to get subbed off. So my dad just said that he was the Cristo of Sporting because he always got sacrificed every time because he was the first one to go out. But yeah, no, I think he's a decent player. I think they could have at least gotten some money for him, but it is Sporting, so you know that they're terrible at making deals. So it is what it is. We'll move on to Porto now. Gleison Francisco Ramos got loaned out. Gleison to Passos, Francisco Ramos to Chaves. Kevin, what do you think of these two players, and what do you hope happens during this loan?
Um, I hope that they succeed, obviously, wherever they go. Kind of sad to see what's his face go to Shavs. Who was it?
Ramos.
Yeah, it just completely slipped my mind. And I told you, I'm the one that mentioned it to you, and it just completely slipped my mind because
Oh my God.
he was with the team last season. That was a brain fart. But yeah, he was with the team for a little bit last season, and I'm sad to see him go. I don't know if it's official yet, but I know he's on the verge, and it's most likely going to happen. But yeah, he's the one that I wish that would have stayed. Gleison, I haven't seen much of him, but from what I heard, he's a good player. So hopefully he does well. And that's
I
all I can
believe
say
your
about
boy
that.
Gleison that you barely watched was considered the second division best player. So there you go.
Yeah, I haven't really watched much of the B
Apparently
team.
he's got talent. So
Hmm.
but we got to see what happens, because going to the Premier League is different, obviously. So you probably have also Ivo, Gonçalo Paciência, and Marega leaving. What are your thoughts on? I'm not going to ask Marega because that's a bit obvious. And
Yeah,
Ivo Rodrigues is decent, but I want to touch upon Gonçalo Paciência. But what do you think of him leaving? Because it's probably even going to be on a permanent deal, as you've probably seen his tweet. What do you make of that? Good decision or bad decision by Porto?
it's got to be a good one. I mean, you have André Silva, who's more promising than he is. He did have a nice goal for us. I believe it was 2 seasons ago for a
He
Tasa game.
had he had a brilliant goal versus Benfica 2 years ago as well on the B team. Sorry, thought you were going to
That
mention that one.
that I don't remember. Like I said, it's hard for us in the States to watch the B team. You can only watch
Yeah,
the
yeah.
highlights on YouTube. Um, but anyway, yeah, Andres Silva is the go-to guy for right now, and then we're gonna have another striker. If Abubakar doesn't leave, we'll have him. We might get another one, but yeah, it's just you just can't have two youngsters like that on the team. You need to have more depth, and you need to have experience, which matters. But yeah, I mean, I'm sad to see him go. He's most likely going to leave, but it is what it is, and I'm really looking forward to Andres Silva and seeing what he can do.
Fair enough, fair enough. Also, Marcano rumored to be able to leave duties. Do you think that you're gonna miss him? Do you think he's gonna go? Do you think it's just a personal problem? Are you sad that he's leaving? Or
He's actually not a bad player. If anything, he's the most unlucky defender I've ever seen with own goals and slip in at the wrong time and everything. I think it's
yeah,
just bad luck. I mean, he's not that bad of a defender, but we can have better. I want to see what Eric Palmer Brown can do. I'm sure he'll stay with the B team, but I'm excited to see what he can do. I just got to give him a little bit more time. Shadozi needs to go on the bench, but I know I'm drifting here. But for
yeah, no, it's all right, it's
Marcano,
all right.
but for Marcano, um, I mean, he's a good defender. I'm not saying he's a bad one. He's just the most unluckiest defender that I've ever seen. It just boggles my mind how much bad luck he's had.
All right, all right. So before we get into a possible signing, another guy possibly leaving, Hernani. Would you like to keep him on the squad? Would you sell him or would you loan him out? What would you do?
I definitely wouldn't sell him. I would like for him to have a better chance at the team. You know, he played well for Olympiacos last season. He was great for them. I guess it all depends on what happens in these friendlies coming up. It doesn't look like he's going to get a chance. It looks like they might just loan him outright. Um, but yeah, if anything, if he's going to leave, I'd rather see him go out on loan, obviously, because to me, he's just too good of a player to sell. I think he's got a lot of potential. He's very quick, and he could help us on the wing, especially if Brahimi gets sold. So I would be sad to see him go. But I just have a question for you. I don't know if you're going to touch up on the possible signing that Sporting might have, an ex-Porto player.
Helton, yeah. I'll ask you that just after this
Yeah,
question
please
that I
do.
have for you guys. Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
point that out. I'll point
Okay.
that out.
All
All
right.
right.
Good.
I wanted to ask you, the three of you, or I mean the two of you plus me. What do you think of this strategy that clubs have, just like you mentioned, Kevin, of loaning out players without them even being on training camp? What is the point of that? Why just not outright sell them, or why not give them a chance? I personally think that's absolutely ridiculous, rubbish. If you're not thinking that you're going to keep the player, just sell him. There's no point on even buying him. So just elaborate on your opinion, guys. I'll start with you, Kevin, since you were the one talking.
Yeah, I mean, it is pretty stupid because, first of all, you're spending money on the player's wage. I'm sure they work that out with wherever they go. But I think they still have to pay a portion of the loan. Um, and that's a good point. That like if you're not even going to be part of the team, why even buy him? Like Benfica, for example, who was that player that they bought and he's loaned out already? Oh, they sold his
Hey,
Oscar
rights.
Benitez?
Oscar Benitez was bought, then sold 50% of his rights, and possibly now going on loan to Boca Juniors. That was the agreement.
See, that doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, I can
That's
understand if you buy the player and you sell 50% of his rights. I know Porto does that. They did that with Brahimi. I forgot
yeah,
how
they do
much.
that.
It
They
was a
do
big
that
chunk that they
plenty.
sold. Yeah, they
Yeah,
do
with
that a lot.
70, 80%. Porto does that a lot, a whole lot.
Yeah.
Hmm.
See, that like it doesn't make any sense to me.
But it's
Because
understandable. At least you're keeping the player, but you're keeping the player.
exactly.
Selling
That's
rights, but you're keeping the player. So you're at least, if you don't make profit on him, on money profit, you'll make profit of his footballing ability.
Yep, and that's where I'm getting at. That's the point that I was just trying to make. But yeah, it is pretty dumb. And I don't know why they do it, but they do it, and I'll never make sense of it.
Yeah. Kyle.
Yeah, it's just a waste of money to be honest. If you're just buying the player and you're just gonna loan him out, and like some players that you loan out, that the big teams loan out, they don't even get minutes after they're loaned out. Like, there's no point in that to be honest. It's just a waste of money in my
Just
opinion.
sell him, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw that, Kyle, but on the Benfica podcast, Alfredo mentioned a bunch of players that Benfica have to get rid of. And I'm trying to think, like, why did you even buy these guys in the first place if you're not gonna keep them?
Yeah.
Especially good players like Pele. In my opinion, Pele is a great center midfielder. Yet he's not even gonna get a chance. He's gonna be sold outright. Why? Then why even get him? I think it's just stupid. But Kevin, going back to Porto, Alex Telles. Do you think that if he joins, it's to accommodate a possible leave of Maxi or Layun?
For Moxie, no, but I think Layun maybe. Um, we have Rafa also to fill the position, unless they plan on moving Layun up the wing because
Yeah, that, or just play him on right back. Because I was thinking, Maxi is not certain that he'll stay because Layun can play right back. You know, so
But I don't see Moxie leaving, honestly. But I guess it's just to have more depth. Or like I said, you can either play him more up the wing, because he really can't defend that
or
well.
even in the center midfield. Wait, who? Alex Telles?
No, I'm talking about Layun.
Oh, Layun can play as a center midfielder as well. I'm not sure if you knew that.
I wasn't too sure about that, but I know he could play right back because I've seen him play for Mexico as a right back before.
Yeah.
But
Hmm.
yeah, honestly, I don't think Moxie's going anywhere. It could be that the Telj signing is to make money on Layun because he might be getting sold. I know there's been rumors, but um,
Yeah.
if not, you have Rafa, like I said, as a backup. If Alex Telj does come, and you can move Layun to the wing.
There's also that other guy, that Spanish guy. That's absolutely rubbish. That's also a left back and backup for you.
Oh,
I forget his
Jose
name.
Angel.
Yeah, Jose Angel is absolutely crap.
I think he's on his
Uh,
way out.
Probably he's bad. So,
Yeah, he sucks.
Wow.
um, so go ahead and touch upon the Alton and Cardozo, even if you want to. What do you think of that, Kevin? Because you were the one who wanted to touch upon this.
Yeah, and again, it comes down to Bruno de Carvalho. I'm kind of upset Alex ain't here for this because I would have loved to have fun with him with this one. But Bruno de Carvalho, like, does he actually think that like Benfica's gonna get mad that Cardozo signed for Sporting? Like,
I
I'm
don't
sure
know.
that Benfica fans could care less. I'm sure you guys could care less. Like, it's actually not that big of a deal.
Not
But
not me, but that's besides the point. I'm one of those that always supported Cardozo and really likes
Yeah,
him. So.
I would not really like it if
all right,
Sporting were to go for Cardozo either.
But I agree with you in overall sense that from what I've seen from Twitter reactions that people would not be too bothered.
exactly. Why should they be? I mean, Bruno de Carvalho was just trying to troll and piss everybody off. The whole Helton thing, like, if Helton signed for Sporting, like, I honestly wouldn't be mad because the guy put in this time for our team. He was great for our team. You know, we're the ones that released him, and he's free to go wherever he wants to go. But if he thinks that, and I'm speaking just for myself as a Porto fan, I honestly
Yeah.
wouldn't be that mad because first of all, he's not even going to play. He probably won't even get any minutes. He probably would go down to the B team, although I would doubt that. But uh, like honestly, he wouldn't do anything for Sporting that he has accomplished for Porto. That's just my opinion, and I think that it's stupid that he's trying to get under the skin of other teams. That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's a signing to get under the skin. of other teams, and I think he's still bitter about the whole Carrillo thing. But he's the one that started when he stole
Yeah,
the coach.
exactly.
So
Exactly. You could have done what Luis Vieira did with Maxi, and yeah, Maxi did end up signing for Porto, but it was because he wanted to, and not because Benfica almost like forced him to do so. You know, they gave him they gave him the right to choose, and he chose Porto, but Carrillo wasn't given the choice to choose. So
exactly, and at least like Maxi's a good player. Everybody knows about it. He thought that he
yeah,
would do better at Porto, but with Carrillo, it was an internal thing.
yeah.
Bruno de Carvalho was being an ass as usual. Um, he still trained with the team, right? Carrillo still trained with the
Uh,
team.
yeah. He trained like
He still showed up in
I
Alcochete.
don't. Yeah, I don't know like what the or what the English term of it is, but he what he means by treino à parte, like being
He was just
with
keeping
the
fit. He
team,
was just
but
practicing
being
away from the team.
yeah, but yeah, he was like there, but the team was like on the other pitch or something like that. But
Yeah,
he
he
was
was by
there.
himself, keeping fit
Uh,
while the team
yeah,
practiced their strategies or whatever.
what
So,
I thought was quite funny. Sorry to cut you off. Was that as some people on Twitter was saying, "Thank you, Bruno Carvalho, for forcing Carril to go training." To me, that means that he's just gonna keep up with his fitness and he's gonna be ready for next season.
and
But,
that's what I
but go
was
on.
just about to say. Like, you kept him fit for your rival. Brilliant, smart move. Absolutely brilliant. Like, seriously, like, he's trying to, like, piss people off by opening his mouth. And Carrillo, he got, like, it was a punishment. Not really. You're keeping him fit for Benfica. Think about that, dude. Seriously. Like, that was just
Yeah.
the stupidest thing that I could have ever seen by a president. I mean, look at what Porto did with Rolando. I don't think that he was keeping fit with the team. I think that they just
No,
sent him out outright.
or the what happened with Maxi was even different. Was different because he was playing. Carrillo wasn't even playing. So what's the point on making him, practice?
And
Yeah,
Carrillo's a
agree
good
with you.
player. I mean,
Yeah,
if anything, like whatever they had internally, well, I guess it was a contract issue, correct?
yeah. Contract issue because his contract was going to run out this year, and he didn't want to renew his contract, and he wanted to leave.
Okay, so instead of quote unquote punishing a player and just keeping him fit, like I said, pretty stupid. Um, like why don't you play him and show him that you need him, that he is important to you? Don't
I
don't
can
treat him
almost,
like crap.
yeah, I can almost guarantee you that if he played the whole season, he wouldn't have joined Benfica. He
He
could have
probably would
not
have.
signed a contract, but he probably would
Uh-huh.
have gone elsewhere. He probably would
That
have
was
gone
like a
elsewhere.
big middle finger to Sporting. Like that was more of
Exactly.
like revenge than anything. But like who knows? He could have learned a lot with Jorge Jesus, change his mind and be like, the team does need me. Like I'm
Yeah.
important to them
And
and I
and
feel
and
wanted.
at one point, Bruno Carvalho wrote him a blank check saying, "Whatever amount of money you want, you'll get it off offshore accounts." Would you think that Carrillo or any other player would sign a contract that your money comes from offshore accounts? I'm not kidding. That was a fact. That was a thing. Bruno
Oh my
Carvalho offered
God.
him the amount of money, whatever amount of money you wanted to re-sign a new contract, but the money would come from offshore accounts.
I had no idea. See, I told you he's such a smart guy. Great businessman. Brilliant. What a genius.
And, just to finish up on this sporting thing, do you think that I praised Bruno Carvalho the season before he signed George Jesus in every possible way, except the way that he talks to the press, but the way that he managed the club was quite smart. He got rid of terrible players they had, and sold them and sold them so they're not paying his wages. He brought in like Nani without even having to pay his wages. And since he brought in Georgios, all he has done was accumulate debt. Do you guys think that Sporting are destroying themselves with what they're doing with their transfer strategies?
Yeah, they are. You can see it, and they're making weird transfers. Like actually, well, like Petrovic, nobody's ever heard of him. Well, I've never heard of him, but like,
Ruiz.
yeah, Alan Ruiz and his brother Federico or whatever his name is.
Yeah.
Like I just like it's weird what they're doing. But you never know. They could turn it around. They could make some big signing. You never know.
Yeah, but that was the whole thing. Why? Uh, yeah, I think Kevin got my point. Kevin, go on.
Yeah, they are making some pretty stupid transfer moves. Who was the player that we were talking about last week that he could have went for 6 mil? We were talking about him last week. I don't know if you can remember. They could have had a
Uh,
chance to sell him, and they said no.
Carlos Mané. I
Yeah,
said
that's who I
that
thought it was.
Carlos Mané got an offer from Hamburger. He barely played the first half of the season. George said gave his yes, said yeah he can go. Last minute he said no, he's staying. I don't want him to get sold.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like you're you're wasting money still. You know what I mean? Like you said no to 6 mil for Carlos Mané. Like
Yeah.
he's got potential. He's a good player,
Yeah,
but they haven't used him. So why not just sell him, or at least send him out on loan somewhere? You know what I mean? He was just wasting
yeah,
away on the bench, and he's Portuguese, so like he needs to stop playing. Like we need to look at the. I hate to go back to Portugal right now because we already talked about it, but if
yeah,
you actually think about it, like these kids need to play. Like the future for Portugal
yeah,
does not look that great. Once Ronaldo leaves, who do we have? At least when in '04 when we played the Euro final, even though we had Figo and Rui Costa, and we knew they were at their tail end of their careers, we knew we had Ronaldo. We knew he was there. He was our next golden boy. You know what I mean?
hopefully, besides Renato Sanches, hopefully José Gomes, because I heard that guy is absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
I heard he's a terrific striker. What were you
I ain't
saying?
never seen him honestly.
He's a 17-year-old. He comes from Benfica ranks, and he's gonna play for the B team next season. So yeah, it's
Mm.
obvious that you never heard of him. But from I
Yeah, he
follow a
scored.
lot of Benfica.
He
Yeah,
scored
go on.
7 goals or something in the under 19 Euros, something like that. Seven, I don't know.
Yeah, he was the best player in the tournament and the best goal scorer. So hopefully at least Jack won. But it's interesting what you're touching upon because Benfica seem to be the club that is doing what Sporting used to do, which
Uh-huh.
was bring up players, Portuguese players from the ranks all the way up to the A team, where you see Porto buying players for the B team, you see Sporting buying players for the B team, and you're seeing Benfica trying to play these Portuguese kids. So it leaves me to wonder why Porto and Sporting don't do the same because the Portuguese player is very good. I mean, obviously you can have foreigners, but Portuguese players are very good, you know. So, but they need time to develop, like you said. And where are they going to find that time when, for example, I don't want to bash on Jorge in any way, but imagine that Alan Ruiz isn't that good. He's decent, but he's not better than Carlos Mané. But just because he's from Argentina, he plays over Carlos Mané. It doesn't make any sense if he's not even better than him, you know?
hmm And I agree with that. And I think that I don't think this would be good for the league, but like you got to have like restrictions on how many foreign players you can have. I mean, you got to look at it for the national team perspective.
Yeah,
Um, who's the only future striker that we have? You like Andres Silva is the first one that comes to mind.
yeah, and then I said Jose Gomes, that's the other guy,
Yeah,
but
and
he's
Shaq
still
Gomes,
he's still
but
too he's still too young to even be mentioned as a possible, play for the national team.
exactly, and it could be that he can be like an ex Golden Boy. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, never seen him, but like he
Yeah,
could be so great. Like club wise, like I hope he doesn't do shit for you guys, but for like the Portugal team, national team perspective, like Timo had said it to me before that like he loves to watch Andres Silva play, only for the simple fact he's the future of the national team. Obviously, for Porto, he doesn't want him to do good, but like if he does good, you're going to be happy because that's the future for our national team. And I think that for
yeah. It can be him. It's Yuri Medeiros. It's Adrian Silva. Well, Adrian Silva's older, but it's João Mário.
mhm,
It's Ruben Neves.
uh-huh,
Anyone,
yep,
anyone that does well. Obviously, as the rivals, hope that they have a good season, then get sold to some random club. But yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
and it's like Renato, like I never mentioned it before because I secretly like watched him and I thought he was a great player, and I just didn't want to mention anything because
Yeah,
that's just tooting Benfica's horn. But like when it came time for the national team and he got sold to Bayern, I was like, what, that's a great player. And I think that he has the potential to bring Benfica a lot of money. That's a good sale for them. They probably could have made a better deal, but anyway, uh, yeah, we need to have, I think, some restrictions. I'm not saying only three foreign players play and that's it, because
yeah,
you got to look at the lower teams too. They buy foreign players, but um, I think for the future of a national team, we need to start setting some restrictions on how many foreign players can be in the team. It might hurt the league, it might not. You gotta try. If it
yeah.
doesn't help, then you lift the restrictions. If it helps, leave it in place and look to the future of our national team.
Or even maybe try and implement that on the second division, and if it
Yeah,
works,
try it
bring it
out.
up to the first. Yeah, I know what you mean. I agree.
Exactly.
Kevin, I'm sure you're well on time, right?
Yeah, but I can keep going a little bit longer if you guys want.
Okay, because I want to touch Benfica and then ask you guys the question, but so if you have time, I'll move on to Benfica and then ask you guys the question that I wanted to make.
Yeah, I got
So
time. Go ahead.
okay, good. So Benfica signed Zivkovic Alan Benitez, Oscar Benitez. uh, I was thinking about Alan Ruiz, right? Because we mentioned him too much.
Yeah.
Uh, that's like our interrupt from the Footy podcast. From the Benfica Footy. Nice. I'm getting everything mixed up. From the Benfica podcast, the
Yeah.
Alan Ruiz is our interrupt. No,
Yeah.
uh, just kidding. So Benfica signed Zivkovic and Oscar Benitez. Kyle Zivkovic. Wow, 3 years
Really excited for
of,
him.
of drama, 3 years of having him mentioned to Benfica several times, and finally it's done. How excited are you to have Zivkovic?
I'm really excited, especially since it was on a free. He's the next generation of Serbia. You can tell because he's like the videos that I've seen of him. He's very good. I've seen like a free kick that he scored a couple free kicks,
Yeah,
and he's
yeah,
only 19 and he already has like 65 games or something for Partizan.
yeah.
Like, and he captains the World Cup.
He's the youngest player at the age of 17 to make it to the Serbian national team, to the A squad.
That's insane.
At
But I'm
17
really
years old.
excited for him.
Yeah, me too. Um, as for Benitez, I can't, I really, I'm not even gonna say too much about him because I don't know enough about him. Kyle doesn't know enough about him, and I'm not even sure if he's gonna stay at the club. So moving
Yeah.
on to the players that are gonna leave. Obviously Nuno Sancho's loan. Um, good idea, right?
Yeah.
Kyle, what do you think of this?
Getting some first team football, and especially since he was injured pretty much all of last season.
Yeah,
Um,
got injured
yeah,
against Porto, I believe, unfortunately, and he scored a free kick goal as well.
yeah, but it's a good loan. He's gonna be getting
Yeah.
his fitness up, and hopefully he does really good at Vitoria Stubble.
Vitaly Listkov, the center back, the Russian
The
center back,
Russian.
also got
Yeah.
loaned out to Tondela. What do you make of this deal?
No, I think that's a good deal too. He's pretty young, I'm pretty sure, so that will also get him some experience playing in the first league because uh he hasn't even got a start for Benfica's for their actual team. I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's only the B team, but
Yeah, only the B team.
yeah, I think Tondela is a good move for him. So
I really, really rate him. I really, really liked him last season. Last season, not this last season, the season before that. He was so good. I wanted him to see the Benfica ranks first at Lindwall. So I really hope that works out pretty well for him because I really like him. He's a very decent player. John Murillo got loaned out to Nacional last year. He was loaned out at Tondela. This year, loaned out to Nacional. What do you expect from the kid, Kyle?
hopefully he plays. You know, I'm not sure how good he did at Tondela. He maybe
Got,
got a couple.
was almost a starter every single game.
Oh, was he? Oh, that's not too bad. But hopefully he does just as good or even better than he did last season at Nacional this season. And
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's a good loan too.
besides these minutes, I think he needs to get goals and assists just to
Yeah.
make him a little bit more of a better player. Um,
Wait,
mentioning out
what position is Moreira?
is
Was he a left
right
wing or
winger,
striker?
left winger.
Oh,
He
all
played
right.
both wings. Venezuelan 19-year-old, so he still has got a lot of time. Fábio Cardoso and Pedro Rocho and Bruno Varela all rescinded their contracts with Benfica and signed with another club. Just as we were talking about, this is what I'm saying. If you think that these players are good, but they're never gonna make it through the ranks, just release them. That was it. That
Yeah.
was my point. Although we could have made money with them, obviously we could have, but we released them, and now that they're gone into possibly better things. So, what do you think of Fábio Cardoso and Rocho and Bruno Varela leaving?
I think that Rabushu and Varela leaving is it's all right. I didn't really like. I've watched some games with the B team here and there, but I didn't really see that anything special from them. But Fabio Cardoso, the games I've watched him from like with Passers, he to be honest, he wasn't that bad. But I don't know if he shouldn't. I think we should have kept him at least on loan for one season, another season, and then we would have seen if he were to make it into the starting team in the next season after that. But it's
Mm.
all right. I guess I don't know what we're doing there,
I'm
but
not bothered with Bruno Varela leaving because he barely played for Villa. What team was it? Valladolid last season. So in the second division of Spanish football, he couldn't even get minutes. So I'm not really that bothered with him leaving. Rebosco, I think he's a decent left back, but with Grimaldo, Eliseu, and Marçal, I don't see him getting any minutes. So I think it's a good idea that Benfica sold him or released him. But Fabio Cardoso is a little bit weird because I think he's really good. Uh,
wait, what did you say? Your mic kind of cut out.
yeah, I cut out because my dad just went in like, what the hell, dude? Yeah. He's just like, good night. I was like, really? Really, dude? Anyway, I was saying that Fabio Cardoso is a very decent player, and the only reason I can see this deal that this deal went through is that they have higher hopes for Ruben Dias, who got called up to the Zenit game already last year. He didn't
Yeah.
play, but he got called to the bench. That's the only reason why I can see that Fábio Cardoso left. So hopefully they're right with Ruben Dias and he can do better than what Fábio Cardoso could have done. Just two more players to talk about here. You know that it's been rumored, Kyle, that Benfica could sign Bakic.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, I've seen
what
that.
do you think of him?
I haven't seen a single game unless he played against Benfica.
He
Was he?
did.
He was on loan to Belenenses this year, right?
Yeah, he played against Porto, Sporting, Benfica. He played most of the games.
Yeah, he's young, so and he's a good position that we'll need center mid. Um, and I think we should go for it unless like is it a loan or is it an actual permanent transfer?
Permanent deal, 5-year deal.
Yeah, I think we should go for it. That would be a pretty decent signing, and we could get those players to fight for their spot and put some competition in the team, which makes the more players we have, to be honest, like
At
in
that
a
position,
certain
yeah.
position, yeah, the better they'll play to try to win the first team spot, and it'll be better for
But
us.
I would like him. I think he's a very decent player. From what I remember him, he's good at long shots. Very decent midfielder. But if we get him and then loan him out, I will wonder what the hell are we doing? Because just like Pele, even in the first place, if you buy Bakic, why not give Pele some minutes in the first place? That to me alone is ridiculous. And if we end up getting Bakic and then voting him out, I'll be thinking, what the hell are you doing, Benfica? Because honestly, I think that's a ridiculous decision. Last but not least, Adel Taarabt might be on his way out of Benfica.
No, my boy.
0 goals, 0 assists, 0 yellow cards, 0 red cards, 0 fouls conceded, zero clean sheets. So
Hey,
very,
got
very
a goal for the B team. Ran
right.
through like
Very
the
good
whole
goal.
team.
Yeah, it's a very good goal as well.
He messed up a penalty, or I mean a
Oh
corner,
God. Yeah,
and
and he
that
messed
was
up the
pretty much.
penalty as well.
Oh, did he? Yeah, that's pretty much
Yeah,
his
he
highlight
did.
at Benfica.
Yeah. So what do you think of him leaving, Kyle? What do you
Oh,
think?
this is good because he's being paid a lot at Benfica, so
Around 2 million.
that's yeah, that is ridiculous. If we're not even like not a single start for us, like come
Six
on, what
years, 6 year
has he even
deal.
was he even on the bench in a competitive game?
Yes.
He was on the bench, yeah. But
Vianians
what?
against Vianians for the
Oh,
Taça.
was it? Well, or it wasn't
Didn't
even
even
a.
play. I was like, come on, Taran, please play. He didn't even play.
Yeah, yeah. But
That's
this is
sad.
finally where he's leaving. Like it's just that was just a waste. I don't know what we were doing. At first, like when we signed him, I was actually
George was shining, by the way. George was shining. Want to point that out. Perhaps
who?
George was shining. Perhaps George was shining.
Oh, okay. Oh, was he? What? Oh, Jorge Jesus
Yeah.
wanted to ruin us there. But but yeah, I'm glad that he's leaving. Um, opening up some. It was saving. He was wasting us so much money.
Yep.
But now that we're gonna not be having to pay his wages, we can afford a better player that will actually play instead of Adulterapt. And yeah, thank
You
good.
might find this weird, but I'm extremely sad that he's leaving.
Oh yeah, I
Uh,
have that. I have that
because
same
you
feeling.
know his potential, and it just bothers me that I don't know what the hell is wrong with him. Like I don't know what is wrong with him, to be honest. He's a tremendous player, but he just doesn't have the head to play, I guess.
Yeah.
So I'm sad that he's leaving, but at the same time I'm relieved because they're not gonna have to spend
Wait,
money
so
on.
what club is he going to?
The same team that Victor Andrade was loaned out to, 16
16.
Munich.
Oh,
hmm
all right.
But I think that one's probably gonna be a permanent deal. I don't see Benfica loaning out to Raps.
All right, good.
All right. So Kevin has been like not talking for a while now, but he's still
It's
here,
all
right,
Benfica
Kevin?
stuff. This is not my territory.
Yeah, I know. I know. That's why I didn't ask you anything. I bet that you're probably really sad that Benfica are selling to Raps, right? Because then it would be just the one more player to hog up on the wages.
I'm
That
just
could be.
surprised I haven't released him and have Sporting sign him just to piss you guys off.
Oh, that would have been so. Oh, that would have been epic. Oh, I would have laughed so much if that happened.
That would have been pretty funny.
Yeah. So, we're down to the last question of the podcast. And it is right now. What would you strengthen in your team? I'll start with you, Kyle.
In Benfica?
Yeah, in Benfica.
Hmm. I'm not sure about that one. I'd probably say center mid, like the
hmm
same as where Sanchez played, because like an actual like instead of like a younger player, an actual like proven player that we know that can do that good there.
Okay, so that's
And
that's interesting that you pointed that out. Would you have taken Enzo back because there are rumors that Enzo could return to Benfica? Would you take Enzo back then?
um like what like we pay for him or like on a free?
Free
These
Of
or
guys want
what?
course.
everything for free.
That's a fact, though. He doesn't want to go out to China, so why not Benfica try and get him at least on a cheaper deal?
Yeah,
Because he's
I would
30.
definitely take him
So
back.
okay, I'm not sure if I would, but that's besides the point.
Well, who would you?
Not because of the way that he plays, just because of the way that he left. Absolutely ridiculous way on how he left. So I'm still gutted about that. I don't know who I would have picked, but there you go. Was that it that you were gonna mention, Kyle? Sorry, I
Yeah.
cut you off. Okay. Kevin, and you can mention more than one one more than one sector in your team. Okay, just anything that you would like to strengthen.
You're trying to hint at me, and the whole team needs a revamp.
Yeah, that was the point.
Defense.
That was the point. I want you to touch upon this a little bit, further in depth than what we will, because I think that Porto needs a complete overhaul. So
Yeah, they
your
do, and
territory.
That's all right. Yeah, the defense needs an overhaul. We signed Philippe from Corinthians, so it shows that they're trying to improve there. But he's the only signing I believe that we made for a defender. Um, I
And I'm
think.
not sure that will count when the other kid are defenders. I believe one of them is a left back or a right back.
mm. So I think that Herrera needs to go. Brahimi needs to go. There's a couple of bad apples in the team. I really wish Quaresma was still there, and I'm not saying that because of the national team, because he's always been my favorite player. Um,
Hmm.
so even no matter where he went, he was always my favorite player. Uh, but yeah, Herrera needs to go. Brahimi. Um, I think Corona should stay. He's gonna stay, but I think that he should play more. I think that Nunu knows what he's doing. The team needs to play with more pace. It's just way too slowed down, and that's the problem. Um, it seems like they're still trying to play in like the Mourinho days, where you hold possession, kind of like Barcelona, just hold possession and try to go for it. Uh, it's just not working anymore. I think that teams have figured that out already. So we got to try something new. Uh, we got to be more quick. I want to see more speed. Like I said, it's just way too slowed down. It's like watered down. I don't like it. Um, and we need to have more of the younger players get a chance from the B team. Um, I would like to see Ismail Diaz be called up because he's pretty
Yeah.
good. They say he's the next Hulk. So if that's what they're saying he is, give him a chance and see what he can do. You know what I mean? But yeah, more speed, um, and more Portuguese players, I would say, on the team. We need the Portuguese blood in there for the B team. Players that might have came through the ranks and saw that Mishika, like I've talked about before, it's what we
Hmm.
need, and we need to get back to our winning ways because Benfica's starting to take over, and I blame Bruno de Carvalho because 3 years he's been there, 3 years in a row for Benfica. Uh, so
I love it. It's always bashing on Carvalho every chance you get.
yeah, watch as soon as he leaves, Benfica will start losing again. But yeah, we need to get back to our winning ways. We can't have Sporting ahead of us. Benfica is a different story. Benfica has always been a good team in Portugal. We all know that. It's either Porto or Benfica. So we have to stop again being for the second year in a row behind Sporting. So that can't happen. We need to get back to our winning ways, and I'm really excited to see what the team can do.
I can't wait till we have a preseason game of every single club so we can just try and see what they're trying to do different, at least in the first half, because obviously we know that the second halves of the games are more difficult because you're switching out the whole starting 11. But I just
Hmm.
want to try and see what Nuno, Vitória, and Jorge Jesus are going to try and do with their teams this year. So that's definitely going to be interesting. Now, what would I strengthen in Benfica would once again be what Kyle said, the number 8 spot. I don't think we have one yet. Maybe Andre Horta, but I want a little bit more of a established player, and I think that's possible. I think we can do that. So we'll see what Lucibier and Rui Vitória snatch up. I mean, they already got Zivkovic, which was a very big signing for us. And all the other guys that we're signing. It's unbelievable how well Benfica is moving on the transfer market. I gotta give the kudos to them because it is being the first transfer market that I'm thinking right, we're signing decent players. For once, we're not going for lottery tickets, and we're trying to go for at least players that were established themselves on their clubs, like Kyle Isa, played throughout the whole Dinamo Zagreb squad and played throughout of the Croatian squad all the way to the under 21s. Selic is a very good player, apparently, from what I know and from what I read. Um, Zivkovic and all those other players. So I think Benfica know what they're doing this transfer window, so I'm confident in what they'll do, but definitely a number 8 will be my top priority. And yeah, I think that's it for today's podcast. I don't know if you guys want to add anything.
No, I don't think there's anything.
Yeah, just one more thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
Porto needs to strengthen the forward position too, because Andres Silva, I don't know if he's gonna cut it. You need to have another player who will either start over him, which I'd prefer not, or if you have like a backup for him, that's a tough decision because he's a youngster still, and he
Switch
did do good
systems
for
and
us.
play 4-4-2.
Uh-huh,
That's how
and
I
see
call it.
what can happen. Yeah. So
Yeah.
maybe you can find a backup for him and let him do his thing. It's very very tricky, but uh, and I just want to shout out to all the listeners again. Thank you for your support. It's always appreciated.
Yep.
And that's
And
pretty much it.
uh, yeah,
And just one more thing. Good luck to Portugal Sunday. I really hope they win. I was really
fingers
let down on
crossed.
oh 04. Yeah, I was really let down on oh 04, and that one hurt really bad. So hopefully they can
Terrible.
bring it back home and win it for us, and we can do it. It's not impossible. I don't think we'll win, but you never know, and it's just
Everything's possible in football.
exactly. So that's just about it. What I have to say.
I wanna just especially shout out Clara. 35 Shades of Clara. She turned 16 today. Good friend of mine. She also follows the podcast, so there you go.
Parabéns,
Just
happy
shout out
birthday.
to
Happy birthday.
you. All right, so I think
Did
that's
you say
it.
it was her
Unless
birthday or you were just shouting her out?
no, I was shouting it out because it was her birthday. So there
Oh,
you go.
okay, yeah. So happy birthday.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, so I think that's it, guys.
Yeah, hopefully next time you guys hear us, we'll be the Euro
Oh, we're
champions.
celebrating!
We'll be
Yeah.
screaming and jumping and just all excited and not be sad and
Yeah.
somber. So
Yeah, I'll this podcast will be like screaming, yeah, right?
Yeah.
And I'll be like, oh, what's up, guys? What did you think of the game? I don't want to be like that. I don't want to be like that. I want to be excited. I want to be
Yeah.
jumping around.
yes.
Yeah, pointing out next podcast will come out on Tuesday. So there you go.
All right, we'll see you guys.
Bye
See you.
everybody. Take it easy.